Welcome to Thursday evening breathing buddies. So we're going to begin today with an exercise called the physiological sigh. This is a great one just for getting us relaxed and into the space. So if everyone wants to sit up straight, this we're going to breathe in through our nose. For the most of the time we're going to breathe in through our nose and out through our nose, but for this one we're going to be sighing out. So sigh out your mouth. It's a very pleasing way to perform this exercise. So the instruction is this. You're going to inhale through your nose, then top it up, and then sigh it out. And then again, breathe in through your nose, top it up, sigh. Then breathe in through your nose, top it up, and sigh. Now we'll just pause for a second now. Hopefully immediately that starts to feel a little bit tingly. There's something going on. And you probably notice during the day, especially if you become very still, often if you're kind of at the end of the day, if breathing rate's slowed, every so often your body will just sigh, and it's a way of opening up the airways and making sure the alveoli, where the gas exchange is happening, make sure they don't collapse. So this exercise really helps with gas exchange in the lungs, and it's going to help with the next exercise we're going to do as well. So let's do another 3 rounds of that. When you're ready, breathing in through your nose, top it up, sigh it out. And breathing in through your nose, top it up, sigh it out. Breathing in through your nose, top it up, sigh it out. Right, next one. This is the nasal congestion clearing exercise. I've had a bit of a cold this week, so I need to be doing this one along with you. We're going to be in 2 groups here. Group A, everyone in good health. Group B, anyone who's maybe got any health concerns. If you're in the first trimester of pregnancy, think you could be pregnant. If you suffer from panic disorder, high blood pressure, heart disease, diabetes, just be careful and put yourself in Group B. So the instruction, I'll explain it first, then we can do it. The instruction is to breathe in normally through your nose, breathe out, then pinch your nose or cover your nostrils, hold your breath, nod your head, and keep nodding your head. Now, if you're in Group A, you nod your head until you get beyond that point of wanting to take another breath. So you might get to 20, 25, 30 nods of the head. If you're in Group B, maybe try and get to 10, 15, but the moment you feel like you need to take a breath, take a breath. And when you breathe in through your nose, and hopefully you'll feel it's easier, that some of that congestion has lifted. So when we're ready, I'm going to breathe in normally and out, then pinch your nose, hold your breath, nod your head. Now, if nodding your head is not very good for your neck, you can move side to side, just get some movement into the upper body. Keep going as long as is right for you. Remember, Group B, stop at the point where you feel like you need another to take a breath. Group A, just keep pushing through it. And that feeling that's building up, that's the air hunger. And when you're ready, breathing in through the nose, and hopefully you feel a little bit of relief. That is an excellent exercise to do whenever we feel a little bit congested. And it works a little bit mysteriously. There's a lot of the techniques I teach, we know what's going on scientifically, but this one's a bit of an odd one. We don't fully know what's happening. Maybe something to do with the phrenic nerve. It's also because we're letting carbon dioxide build up in the body, and that's a bronchodilator. So there's a few things going on. The main thing is it works. So to get it to work, though, we need to let the carbon dioxide levels in the blood get back to normal. So we're going to breathe normally for several breaths, and then we'll have another go again in just a second. You might notice this time that you can't go for quite as long because you might have elevated levels of carbon dioxide in your blood. But let's have a go again. When you're ready, inhale and exhale, then pinch your nose, hold your breath, nod your head, or move side to side. Group A, go for as long as you can, as long as you feel comfortable. Group B, stopping the moment you feel that you want to take a breath. When you're done breathing in through your nose, nice deep breath in through the nose. Now we're just going to settle for a second. Place your hands maybe on your lap, wherever it feels comfortable. Checking in. Just going to see how you're feeling right now. If you feel comfortable doing so, close your eyes. Can you feel any tension you can just let go of, just to maybe get 2 or 3% more relaxed? You need to maybe move your shoulders, stretch your neck a little bit. How's your jaw feeling? A lot of tension in the jaw. Do we need to give the jaw a bit of a wiggle? Now, have a little think about how you're breathing. Does it feel relaxed? Or is there a bit of tension in there? What sort of day have you had? Are you carrying that into the way you're breathing now? Don't try to change anything just yet. Just noticing. Just giving us a base to work from. Are you breathing into your belly? Are you breathing into your chest? Any movement in the shoulders when you inhale? Now the exercise we're going to do is called Breathe Light. This is an exercise where we're going to cultivate some air hunger. That air hunger is the feeling that you'd like to be breathing a little bit more air. But we're going to do this to begin with by practicing some unilateral breathing. That is breathing through one nostril at a time. So what I'd like to do is take your attention to your nostrils. Feeling the slightly cooler air as it enters, and the slightly warmer air on each exhalation after it's been conditioned. As you're feeling this movement of the air through your nostrils, can you quieten your breath? Can you make your breathing a little more still? If you were watching yourself breathe, could you hide your breath from yourself? Hide the movement. Hide the sound. You'll still need to be a little bit of movement into your belly. Can there be some stillness to it? Now with your concentration focused on the movement of the air in and out of your nose, are you able to discern if one of your nostrils is more open than the other? Now this changes throughout the day. It's cyclical. Just before we started this session, I had a practice of this myself, and it was definitely my right nostril that was open. It's not anymore. So it's definitely changing, and nothing else has changed in my situation. So now that your breathing is nice and light, and hopefully quite slow, now that you've maybe worked out which nostril is the most open, take a thumb and cover the opposite nostril so that you're breathing through the easy side. Now, as soon as we've done this, because we've covered one nostril, we've halved roughly the size of the hole that the air can get in. So it makes it a little bit more difficult to breathe. This is a form of breath retention in a way, or breath restriction, I should say. So if you continue breathing nice and light and slow here, you should start to feel just that slight feeling that you'd like to be breathing some more air. But try and stick with this. We want to just be playing around just on the edge of this feeling of air hunger. If it starts to feel a little bit too much, start to feel uncomfortable, just back away and breathe through both nostrils again. Otherwise, just stick with it a little bit longer. Now, when you're ready, I'm going to switch to the other side. So, how does that feel? If it's slightly more difficult, again, can you just stick with it and ride this edge of air hunger? If it's too much, breathe through both nostrils for a little while. And when we experience air hunger, we are experiencing carbon dioxide becoming more concentrated in our blood. Carbon dioxide is a byproduct of respiration. It's not the waste product. It's a bronchodilator, vasodilator. So you might now start to feel perhaps your hands are getting warmer, maybe your feet are getting warmer as blood flow is improved around your body. That blood flow is also improved to your brain. You may notice you're feeling a little bit calmer, despite the fact that you're working with a slightly uncomfortable feeling. Okay, so when you're ready, breathe through both nostrils again. It should be like taking off a tight pair of shoes. Now, I'm sure you were feeling a little bit of that air hunger there. What I'd like you to do now is to see if you can find that feeling again, but breathing through both nostrils. So however much air you feel like you're breathing in with each inhalation now, can you reduce that maybe to about 70%? If there's a container that's been filled, can you fill that container just to the 70% mark? Make your breathing incredibly light, incredibly quiet. As well as being a vasodilator and improving blood flow around the body, carbon dioxide is also the catalyst that allows oxygen to be released from your red blood cells. So by playing with this little edge of air hunger, by allowing more carbon dioxide than normal to pool in the blood, we improve blood flow, we improve oxygen delivery. And when we're sat in a situation like this, relaxed, focused, this can actually help us to feel more alert. It can stop the brain from fizzing with everyday worries. So we improve the oxygen delivery, improve the blood flow. Now, air hunger is the very, very edge, the very edge of what is ultimately the feeling of suffocation. That's why we need to be quite careful with it. That's why we just play around with the edge. I use the analogy of surfing a wave. We want to have the ride along the wave. We want to catch the wave. We don't get that ride if we're sitting behind the wave and not feeling the air hunger. But we don't want to get wiped out by the wave either. If you do start to feel your breathing becoming erratic, or if you just feel a bit too uncomfortable psychologically, take some deeper breaths, step back, join in again whenever you feel ready. Okay, drop that exercise now. Breathe however you want to for a second. We're going to concentrate now on just breathing deeply. So this is slightly different now. If you haven't done this before, perhaps open your eyes for a second and take your hands, place them on your lower two ribs, and with your thumbs facing forwards and your hands wrapped around your back. This is so you can feel the movement of your ribs as you breathe in. Now, the goal here is to take deeper breaths, low into the abdomen, but fewer of them. So, with each inhalation, your diaphragm is contracting and moving downwards. But we also want to be feeling the ribs expanding laterally. So there's an expansion outwards with each inhalation. Contraction with each exhalation. If you give your fingers a little squeeze at the back as well and just become aware of that space, you'll notice that there's movement into the back body as well. Breathing is a 360-degree motion through the center of the body. That's why it's important to practice some of these exercises sitting up or standing rather than just lying down. It can be tempting to do this lying down. But we can actually restrict the breath if we're lying on our backs. Especially if we're doing it on a hard surface. So fuller breaths into the abdomen, but fewer of them. Now you might want to relax your hands now. Place them on your lap. And whilst maintaining this low, deep breath, we're now going to add a little bit of pace into it. So I'm going to count. I'm going to count as, first of all, some breathing that's 1-to-1 ratio that will gradually get slower. I'm going to breathe in for 4, out for 4. Then in for 5, out for 5. In for 6, out for 6. Then we'll finish off with the kind of ideal shape of a relaxed breath, which is in for 4, out for 6, and a little pause at the end. I'll count all this out then. When we get to in for 6 and out for 6, it involves quite a lot of control. So if that gets a bit difficult, just breathe slowly at your own pace. We need to get in sync for this. So when you're ready, exhale, then breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4, in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In, 2, 3, 4, out, 2, 3, 4. In for 5 now. 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. In. 2, 3, 4, 5. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5. Now in for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And in. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In. Last time. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now in for 4. 2, 3, 4. Then out for 6. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. 2, 3, 4. Out. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. Out. 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. Out. 5, 6. Pause. Breathe in. That's at your own pace now. Out. The idea here is to make your exhalation longer than your inhalation. And a little pause at the end. The pace we were going there, that was breathing at around 5 to 6 breaths per minute, which is the ideal breathing rate to cultivate a feeling of relaxation. But most of us are spending most of our days probably breathing 11, 12, 13, 14 breaths per minute. So now, if you want to add the little twist at the end, you can try if you want. It can feel like a contradiction, but can you continue to breathe slowly and deeply like this, but can you somehow find a way to create a little bit of air hunger as well? Or can you breathe slowly but low into your belly, but also a little less air at the same time? That's too much like patting your head and rubbing your belly. Just concentrate on keeping the exhalation longer than your inhalation. Okay, just a couple more breaths now. We'll start to bring this to a close. So when you're ready, perhaps deepen your breath slightly. Step away from the exercise. Open your eyes. Thanks for coming along to this week's Breathing Buddies.